Hi guys, it's Angel from AngelSkyeTV. Today's your weekly medicine tarot reading for the week of November 6th. So we just came out of a full moon on Saturday. It was a pretty intense moon for a lot of people. I know a lot of you struggled really hard with emotions, just feeling irritable, cranky, sobby. Remember, that moon was closest to the earth. If you want to learn more about the Taurus moon, I did talk about that last week. This week, what we're going to do is we're going to surround this reading with divine light and love in all directions of time and space. We're going to ask for clear answers to guide our way this week, the week of November 6th. So if you're at home, just take some deep breaths into your belly. A lot of times, we forget to breathe deeply. I talk about this so many times over. It's super important to vitalize and rejuvenate your internal organs as much as you can, and the best way to do that obviously is to eat a really healthy diet, but the breath can help as well. Remember, breathing, you're doing it anyway, so it's not going to take any extra time to breathe deeper. Okay, so for all of you guys that have that excuse, I don't have time, I don't have time, I don't have time, you are breathing anyways. You have time to breathe deeper, okay? So close your eyes, breathe deeply, feel the breath in the belly, okay? Feel it all the way down. A lot of times what happens when you start to breathe deeper is you're going to start to yawn, and that's a sign that you're bringing more oxygen into your cells. That's a good sign. You need to bring more oxygen into your cells because that helps your cells feel better, and as a result, your body feels better. So it's a simple thing. We're breathing anyway. Just breathe deeper. It actually helps to release those stress hormones when you do that, because if you think about it, and I know I've said this 100 times, so I apologize for the people that tune in faithfully, but when you breathe like you're happy, you will actually feel happy, even if your life is a freaking disaster. Just use the breath as a tool to help you through difficult times. That's one very powerful thing you can do, that you do have power over, your breath. All right, so I'm just waiting for the guides to give me a sign when to choose the cards. There's Monday, or beginning of the week, middle of the week, end of the week. Oh, and we got some jumper cards flying out at me here. So we'll use those two this week. So beginning of the week, the guides are saying it's time to take some action. You probably felt that after the release of the full moon at the beginning of the week. And like I said, I usually post this a little bit late now that my schedule's changed. But they're saying to pursue things that make you the most happy. This message comes up so much nowadays, and I think it's mainly because most people have arrived at this realization already. Like, you just can't keep doing things that you don't like. It's almost impossible. It feels like something has massively shifted in the universe where, 10 years ago you could really grit your teeth and just do it. But now it's just like, you can't even, there's no energy to like muster up to like push towards things that absolutely you don't want to do, that is not contributing to the betterment of the world. They are talking about this might go off in a different direction here, but the guides are talking about, think about things in a broader sense. Even the things you're complaining about, you don't really want to do that. You might feel like that makes a lot of sense to do. It might be like a habitual thing where you look around your environment, you see all the things wrong with it, you point it out to the person beside you, you point it out to the other person beside you, you point it out to your husband, you point it out to your wife, you point it out to your children, everything that's wrong all the time. This is not beneficial for you or the people around you. Think about the negative Nancys in your life and how you don't really want to be around them. They're hard to be around. Their energy hurts almost. It feels like they're assaulting you just by being in their presence. We all know these people. They're not bad people. They're just choosing negative behaviors, that being complaining. So when you are choosing to take action in a more positive direction, remember that point, not to get caught up in old habits of complaining, and pointing out what's wrong in your life, because that is not going to advance you to the next level of success that you would like, which is a more positive life, a life that you're living your dreams and that you're happy. You can't be happy while complaining. It doesn't make sense. There is a such thing as constructive criticism or constructive complaints. That's very different. The energy behind that is, I want to fix this. It's not just ruminating and just adding negativity. Okay? Middle of the week, the guides are saying to let go of worry. So as the full moon energy sort of dies down and we move into a new moon, the guides are asking you to just let go of all your worries. Complete that process of letting go of all your worries, all your fears, anything like that, so that you could really see the truth of a situation in your life or situations in your life. End of the week, the guides are asking you to take a little bit of a break from society. So no plans to go out this weekend. Maybe just have an in-home weekend where you're just like, Netflix or, cleaning up your house, whatever. Just take a break from social events this weekend, just because the past weekend has probably been really busy, full moon energy busy. Maybe not necessarily you were out and about, but the energy was really intense. So they're just asking you to honor the rhythms, go a little bit inward this weekend where, you're not really making plans with anyone, no friends, even family stuff. Just tone it down, chill out, do as little as possible. And I feel like that's going to benefit you for the week coming up. They're saying, while you're doing this explorative inward journey on the weekend, to think about opening your heart a little bit more. What can you do to open your heart more? We sit around, we focus on what's wrong with our own life. We don't see how, we kind of get caught up. It's a bit narcissistic. I mean, we all know narcissist. And it's a term that none of us want to aspire to be. No one wants to be a narcissist. No one wants to be around a narcissist. But if you're constantly thinking about what's wrong with your life, if you're constantly thinking about, the things you have to fix, what you need to do to be in the career you need, to have the partner you need, blah, 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 it becomes narcissistic. You become obsessed with your self-development, your progress, your or lack thereof. So what the guys are saying for you is just to maybe do some service work after the weekend of going inward and letting go of worries starting from Wednesday on. Just think about ways you can just give back to the world without any strings attached, just for the simple fact that there are other people like you that are struggling in the world. And probably worse off than you are. And if you're like, well, no, that's impossible. There's no one worse off than me right now. My life stinks. Well, then, you know what? Find that person. Find those people that are worse off than you and help them. Because you know what ends up happening when you do that? You realize, damn, I've actually got it pretty good. I'm so lucky. And just the act of doing that will change something in your karma, okay? And I don't want you to do that for yourself, do this kind act for someone just so that you can feel good in the end. That's not the point, but that is inevitably what will happen. You will feel better. And if you don't, you didn't do it right. You didn't do it 100%. So the guides are saying, listen to your heart, open your heart more. And this is going to sound contradictory, but they're also saying, to stop taking care of people around you so much. And I think these are more your people, not so much complete strangers that have it worse than you, but your people, the people that you interact with on a regular basis. So some of you that are watching are really, just doing way too much for your people, and you're becoming resentful towards them. So I think about one of my best friends who, she's home with her children and she does everything. She does everything, all the cooking, all the cleaning, all the care for the children. And her husband works, which is great, but he doesn't help around the home. And they have this arrangement, I guess, but it's not really an agreed upon arrangement. Just kind of like she fell into doing everything. He's working. She used to work. She just had a couple of twins, or a couple babies. Anyways, my point is just, she knows and I know, we discuss things all the time, that she does way too much around the house. And it was funny because he was left with the kids, I guess, a few days ago, and he couldn't handle it. She had to take one of the twins out for a doctor's appointment, and he just couldn't handle it. He couldn't handle all the kids, and he found it really difficult. And she's like, oh, well, he's just not good at it. But I call bullshit. She called bullshit on herself, of course. She's very aware, the most aware person I know. But we do this for people we love. We pick up the slack for them because we naturally want to. We don't want them to be uncomfortable. We don't want them to be, we don't want them to struggle. We don't want the people we love to struggle. So we naturally will just pick up the slack, even if that's at our own expense. And so what the guides are saying for you that are watching, that this is a common theme in your life where you're picking up the slack for people. Know when to say no. Just know when to say, you know what, they have to kind of, pick up their own slack. Otherwise, I'm always going to be picking up their slack, or someone else is going to pick it up for them too. Just don't be so readily available to people that are capable. You're not helping their growth in any way by doing it for them, is the point of the guides. What the guides are trying to express, just to help those people grow, and to give yourself a break. Let them do their own thing sometimes, even if it makes them uncomfortable. Because we sort of almost always think that being uncomfortable is a bad thing. But it's not a bad thing. It helps us to grow in different ways. It helps us to expand. So as a mother, I'm always trying to find ways to step back, even if it means I have to watch my children struggle sometimes, which is the hardest thing for any mother or parent. You don't want your kids to struggle, but actually it makes them into stronger individuals. It gives them strength of character. This is not a bad thing. And you're doing it out of love, not because you don't love them. You're doing it they have to learn this lesson. They have to learn how to pick themselves up. They have to learn how to do the dishes, do the laundry, do the chores. Anyways, I do recall someone telling me it was child abuse to make kids do chores. And I would argue that it's child abuse not to, because a child will have to do chores when they're an adult. And you're making their adult life a lot more difficult if you don't teach them when they're little that they're responsible for their environment, So anyways, my opinion only, but the guides are saying step back with your people, go help some new people that you don't know, go inward this weekend, listen to your internal guidance, let go of any fears and worries, and take some action, especially against your bad habits at the beginning of this week. So anything that you really just know is not helping you, or maybe you're not aware it's not helping you, but if you find yourself complaining, especially the guides are saying complainers that are watching, watch yourself. It's not a positive thing to constantly point out what's wrong in your environment, even if it is somewhere inside you, you're thinking you're doing it to make things better. Come up with an action plan. An action plan actually is much more effective when you're trying to change your environment than just ruminating and complaining about the same thing over and over and over again. I hope that helps you. I will see you next week. And take care.